Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to The Good in the Hood. Been a couple weeks since we've seen you all. Some busy stuff going on, holiday season and whatnot. So we are happy to be back. Glad to bring you another episode of The Good in the Hood. I am stoked to share a few things with you. Some things that happened over our little hiatus, our little break. Some positive things, of course. Also, we got a lot of hot things to talk about. Before I go any farther, allow me to introduce to y'all once again the man, the myth, the legend, the Houdini himself, Al. Welcome to the show, Al.
Hey, what's up, bro? What's up, everybody? It's good to be here. Good to have y'all here with us this evening. And like my brother said, yeah, in fact, we have a packed show of some things that we'd like to convey to y'all and get y'all opinions. So y'all make sure y'all get at us and I guess pick our brain as we pick you guys. You know what I'm saying? And it should be interesting. It should be interesting to get the feedback to see what our viewers and listeners think, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We do want some interaction from you guys. So hit us up on Twitter, Instagram,
Yeah.
Facebook. Leave a comment on YouTube. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff if you haven't already. Um, also, you can check us out on podcasts. We're on a variety of different podcasts now. All of that information can be found on our Facebook page as well as Twitter, I believe. And everything is connected to YouTube. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if the search engines are doing their job, you can find out all that information on all of our various pages. We're doing our best to keep up with that stuff. So please, please, please check us out. Like, subscribe, comment, subscribe to our podcast. I know you may not want to watch us all the time, and that's fine. But you can still listen to us, while you're at work, in the car, whatever. Um, Please do not watch a video while you're in the car, by the way. Let's just put that out there. Just go ahead and listen to us on podcast. That's why it's there. That's
Yeah.
why it's there.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll get right into some things, man.
Mm.
Let's go back to Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, we
Oh
had the
man.
pleasure of serving with Simply Blessed Creations.
Yeah.
We served between 40 and 50 meals
Yeah.
to the community,
Yeah.
mostly prepared by my lovely wife and Miss Sharice, who is the owner of Simply Blessed.
Mm-hmm.
We went out and we held up signs and acted a fool, but we had a good time.
Oh
We had a good
yeah.
time serving the community. It's always fun to be out. Uh,
I had a ball.
there, if you check out our Facebook page, there are some videos.
Yeah. We had a good time
I'm
out
pretty
there.
sure there's a video out there of me doing the inflatable wavy dance
Uh
or
huh.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
interesting to say the least. But it was great to get to connect with the community a little bit and just give what we can, because ultimately that is what we are here for.
Right.
Um, that is what the good in the hood is all about, is just giving back in any way, shape, or form we can. So on the show here, we try to give you guys some information to for you to do your own little research. Um, we do give our own opinions. That is, well, that's because we're human, and we have those opinions, and we're just here to talk about them. So again, man, it's super super important for us to get some feedback
Absolutely.
on this stuff. But um, some thoughts from you, Al, on uh, the what do we call it? Simply Blessed Thanksgiving.
Oh man. Oh, where do I start, bruh? It was really good to see people come together for an unselfish cause. It's and we weren't the only ones out there doing that. It was other organizations out there
Hmm.
providing meals to people, and I mean we only think about um, that dinner, I mean we're supposed to eat 3 meals a day, so there were organizations out there. I come to find out that did breakfasts and did lunches, and
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying. So it was really cool. Now for those that weren't able to get up at that particular time. It was good to have us out there actually providing something to eat for the community, man. It was a beautiful thing, bruh. You know,
Yeah, it
and we
was
turned down no one.
no.
Like we
It was
offered food to everybody.
at, at
You,
the end of it. I think we had like I don't know 6 or 7 plates
yeah,
left,
yeah,
and I mean, we're just trying to give them to anybody
yeah,
that'll take them
yeah.
at this point. But
Come
yeah,
eat.
it was it was really cool, man. Talk about coming together. I know there were other organizations out there doing it.
Hmm.
Um, and kudos to them, props to them because
Yeah,
listen, there are organizations that are doing it all the time,
right,
you know, and we just
right,
simply can't. We're not funded, so we don't, you know, we
right.
can't do that all the time. But it was really cool to um, see some of the people that came in and came through. There was one guy that came through that I can remember that he had been driving around forever looking for a
Right.
fast food place because he didn't know
Yeah,
family around here. He's not meeting with family, you know.
yeah,
Um, and he was able to stop by, and I think he said he drove by a couple times and finally said, "You know what? I'm gonna stop and get a plate."
yeah.
And it was cool, man, because that's really what it was. That's what it was about. There was another lady that came through, and she asked if she could take a couple down to the homeless people that were standing down by the highway. There's always the all the way down on coming off of Route 77
Okay.
or going on to Route 77. Either way, there's people that are down there, you know, asking for food or money or change or whatever they can
Yeah,
get.
I've seen them down there.
And
Yeah,
she, you know, she ran some plates down there to him,
that's
and that
cool.
was
That's
cool.
what's up.
I I think we took a total of maybe 6 plates to a couple different stores to give them to the workers
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were
we
working.
did. We
And
did.
that was pretty cool. You and Amber pretty much handled that. I was just
Yeah,
the driver, I guess, at
yeah.
that point. But uh, it was. I mean, it's always on a selfish level. It feels good to serve.
Right,
You know, it feels
right,
good to give back
right, right,
because
right.
we've been in a position, uh, both of us, where we don't know where the next meal is going to come from.
Yeah, been there, man.
So it's it's pretty cool just to be able to give back. You know,
Yeah,
just be able to say, here you go, man. Take this. Here's a bottle of water, plate of food. I mean, we did turkey, ham. It was 2 different kinds of turkey too.
yeah.
It was we had a smoked turkey and a just a regular, I guess, roasted turkey, but both were delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And the what else was there? Mashed potatoes, or not mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, green beans, stuffing, um, the works, man.
Yeah,
You know,
and
and a piece of pie.
and pie. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I was about to. Yeah, I was about to comment on the pie. Yeah, they had a pie. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
pie.
it was. I mean, it was really really cool, man, and just to see the smiles on people's faces,
Yeah,
because they were like, man, this is cool, this is awesome, you know.
I tell you, that was one of the most humbling things, man, to see. You know, the gratitude on people's faces, and it just reminded me at some point in my life what I looked like.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When I was on the other side of that table.
Right,
You know, and
right.
yeah, so you know,
Especially for people like, at least for myself, I struggle with accepting help at all. Like, you know, I guess I've always been, I can take care of it. I'll do this on my own, or not on my own necessarily, but you know, taking handouts and stuff. But
uh,
listen, I've been in positions where I haven't had much of a choice,
man, I can relate to that oh so well.
and
Yeah, I
and you
can.
know, it just brings you. It's funny how the same experience on both sides humbles you
Yeah,
in kind of the same way, right?
right.
Like you, you want to do so much more for the people that are hurting,
Yeah,
because I mean it's just a meal to us,
right,
but to them that could be the only meal that they had all day
right.
or a couple days or
And
whatever.
and you know what? I have seen people unselfishly, you know, not just spend their time, but their money,
Hmm.
you know, to go out of their way to make sure on that day somebody, if not everybody that they come in contact with, at least have a full belly. If nothing else, a full belly. And I tip my hat to that. I really do. Like Sissy putting in her time, and she could have been doing any other things with her time.
Mm.
Um, like Queen, she over there doing what like
Yeah,
they had
I
other
mean, she
stuff.
made pretty much a whole meal.
Yeah, like
Like,
I mean, they had other things they could have been doing on this holiday, but they sacrificed their time. So
right,
no matter what you give it doesn't always have to be a monetary thing. It doesn't always have to be, something of monetary value like
right,
that.
and even
Yeah,
even Vic and the kids coming out and
yeah,
helping out. That was, I mean, um, setting everything up and helping hand out plates, and
yeah,
Annabelle was out there doing her thing.
yeah,
Um, and Kira was out there doing her thing.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody was involved and excited, and
Excuse
it's important values, to instill in kids, man, and their kids too. Their oldest, or not their oldest. I don't think she's their oldest, but anyways, she was out there with them,
me.
and just enjoying it, and that's
Right,
important. It's important for our kids to see us doing stuff like that, so they grow to know that that kind of stuff is needed and they can help out.
right,
You don't have to be a part of an organization, and
right.
there were other organizations that were out there, but a lot of times this time of year, Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Hmm.
a lot of churches get involved
Hmm.
and stuff like that, and it just with this virus and stuff, man, there's just not a whole lot of that going on, and it's nobody's fault. It's just it happens to be that way.
Right,
So to
right.
be able to go out and extend that hand and just be an extension of what truly is good in the hood,
Hmm.
was an amazing thing.
Hmm.
And we can't take credit for it. It wasn't even our idea. We were just asked to join along, which is humbling in and of itself, and it
Yeah,
was a
it
blessing
was.
just to be a part of it. So,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, without
but
question.
the the king and queen across the street, they came up with a plan and they executed
They
it.
executed.
I don't know if you know this, but she didn't even want to cook for Thanksgiving. They weren't having a family dinner or nothing. She
Yeah,
didn't want to cook.
yeah. I heard about that.
And
I
then
I had heard that uh they were just gonna
order a
relax
Popeyes
and
turkey.
order something and just relax. And
Yeah.
hey, but that Popeyes turkey, man, bruh,
Yeah, hey, look, that Cajun
it
turkey was good.
slapped.
Yeah, that Cajun
I
turkey was
was
good.
like, what? I
Yeah,
didn't even know.
it was good. It was well done.
I talked to my mother about it, and she said she had got it like years ago, years and years ago, and she said she didn't like it. And I said, things have changed since then, ma.
Well, and it depends. I guess it depends on your taste, and it also depends on where you get it, right? Because
Right.
it's not the same person preparing all these turkeys
Yeah.
in every place. So
Yeah.
we happen to get a good one, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely a good time. Definitely a good time. Out there, in the audience, if you were a part of something like that, where you came out, or you went out and handed some stuff out, or
Hmm.
worked in a soup kitchen, or anything. It doesn't even have to be around Thanksgiving. Just give us some feedback, man. Let us know. Let us know
Yeah.
how you
Let us
feel
know.
about it.
Yeah. Let us know.
Um,
Help us on to what you're doing in the hood for
because
your
we definitely
community.
want to
Yeah.
be, we definitely want to be a part of it. And listen, we're not out just making public appearances, because let's face it, we're not celebrities in any way.
Shit.
So we legitimately want to go out and help out. So if we can
Right.
help out in any way, um, let us know and we'll do our best. We'll do our best to do just that.
Yeah.
So some great stuff going on, and also don't forget, while we're on the topic, the less fortunate, um, especially this time of year around Christmas,
Mhm.
people with kids
Mhm.
that maybe have lost their job because of COVID, or just running into some struggles. Let's reach out and try to help them. Also, we're going to try to do our part here. Um, I'm not exactly sure what all that's going to entail. I know that we are really close to Christmas now, and it's probably uh, too little, too late, and to do a lot of different things. But we're definitely gonna try to do some stuff. Even if it's just dropping Santa bags on doorsteps with toys for kids or whatever.
Yeah, that'd
Uh,
be cool. That'd be cool.
because
Ain't got to be something major, major. Just
right.
yeah.
It's just about letting the kids know that somebody does care. Because I know a lot of times, um, kids are kids,
Right.
and they don't understand that dad lost his job or mom lost her job and just don't have the money to do it or
Right.
whatever. And not everybody has a grandma or a big mama or an auntie or an uncle
True
or
story.
whatever that can fill that void. So let's everybody just kind of do their part. Um, uh, and make sure that we are uplifting one another within our community,
Mhm.
or within your own community. Also, I mean, we got people that watch from different places, so even if you're not in Akron, I mean, we can do a lot of different things. Some local news, big news actually.
Mm.
The Tangier, um, over on Market Street.
Mm.
It's like that big venue. They do some like live concerts. It's like they got a hall there.
Right.
It's like an events venue.
Right. What's going on there?
It was purchased by the LeBron James Family Foundation.
Oh, really?
It is going to be converted into a community center of sorts. They're going to put a couple restaurants in there. There's going to be a J.M. Smucker restaurant and I
Oh.
believe a Mexican restaurant in there, is what I heard. Um, they are putting a sports complex in there that'll be open to the community, and a few other things that they're putting. Oh, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank is
Oh,
going to be in
okay.
there. So it's really going to be like a community center of sorts,
Right.
right up the street here on the west side of Akron. So once again, LeBron James doing his thing. He and his foundation have done a lot for the kids in Akron,
Mm.
and he's continuing to do so. So I know that the big push for this was for the kids at the I Promise school, but it's going to be open to the community also.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm hoping, and I haven't heard anything along these lines, but I'm really hoping that it's like a rec center almost.
Okay.
Maybe you pay a small nominal fee or whatever, but you can go and play basketball and lift weights and do whatever you need to do. Um, I don't know the specifics on that. I don't think anything's been released on the specifics on that, but it'd
Okay.
be cool to see something like that done with it. And from what I understand, it sounds like they're going in that direction. So sad to see the Tangier go,
Yeah.
as what it is now. Apparently, the guy that's owned it has owned it for 65 years. And he's quoted in
Wow.
saying, I've walked in and out of this building for 65 years every day, and it was time. It was time to let it go. So it wasn't like he was pushed out or anything like that. It was just time. So, I mean,
Wow.
65 years, to live 65 years is a long time. To own an establishment for 65 years is phenomenal.
Right.
So,
Wow.
but it is now
Tuh.
or will soon be officially owned by the LeBron James Foundation. So, though he moved to Hollywood, he's still doing big things over here in Northeast Ohio. So,
Still handling this business on the home front, huh?
yeah, it's pretty cool to see that. Pretty cool to
Okay.
see that.
All right.
Um, uh, I I had something else and I forgot what it was now. But either way, um, we're gonna just go ahead and segue into a little bit of sports news. Sports news update. Of course, we are filming this on a Tuesday night, following the big Browns and Ravens game on Monday Night Football. First of all, hats off to both teams. I'm not necessarily a fan of either team. In fact, I'm a Bengals fan. So, uh, I was, however, don't tell my wife this, even though she'll probably hear it when she watches the show. I was rooting for the Browns to win. Um, Not because I'm somehow I feel as if because I live in Northeast Ohio I should, uh, but because I want anybody but the Steelers to win the division. Uh, since the Bengals can't do it, the Ravens don't really have a shot to do it this year. The Browns were the last hope. That hope kind of went out the window I don't know that there's a scenario that exists now for the Browns to win the division outright. Um, but nonetheless, they played a phenomenal game, and I'm here to tell the world that Baker Mayfield may not be a fake quarterback after all. He's still not the best decision maker in the NFL. However, he did what he needed to do late in the game. It just so happens that Lamar Jackson is that much better, and that Justin Tucker is quite possibly the greatest kicker in the history of the NFL. And that's not euphemism. If you look up the stats, he's most definitely the most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL. Okay. So it's not like I'm just putting that out there. He has a great first name too, by the way.
What is it?
Justin. This Justin Tucker. But
I see that coming. I should have saw that coming. But I did not see that coming. Okay.
On the flip side of that, what's his name? Cody Parkey should probably start looking for a job at a supermarket somewhere, because he lost that game. I've been hypercritical of Baker Mayfield. And though Baker Mayfield did throw an interception in that game, that was ill-advised. It was a poor read. He made a bad throw. Yeah. You know, ultimately he did what he had to do to come back from that. But they lost by, they lost by, I think like 5 or something. But that's only because of the safety at the end of the game. So if we take that safety out,
right,
when they were just trying to get downfield, 2 seconds left in the game, whatever, they lose by 3 points. Cody Parkey missed a field goal and an extra point. If my math is correct, and it usually is, that's 4 points. So there you have it. With that, the Browns then force. Now, that's not to say that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens can't go down the field and score a touchdown and ultimately win the game anyways.
Right.
But the way that the game played out, it was definitely a cause of their kicker, the Browns kicker, Cody Parkey. And I know that we talked about it last night post game.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really on that side, but the more I watched and listened to, you know, some other sports anchors and some other things, and caught some more of the statistics and whatnot of the game, I realized that Baker Mayfield actually played a heck of a game.
Right.
He did throw the one interception at a bad time, but he played well enough to overcome that one interception.
Right.
So you can't really put it on him. He does need to sharpen up his decision making, but not in the Monday night game. That was a heck of a performance. It was a heck of a performance. What are your thoughts on if you could soak up the heartache for a minute?
Yeah, you see, I'm kind of distant right now because, man, I wanted to see them do what they came to do, and that was win. You know, that's what I wanted to see. At the beginning of the game, when they scored the touchdown, I'm like, okay, this is how we supposed to get out ahead, all right? But when he missed that field goal, man, right there, now I don't know if, you know, I said it and it came to pass, but boy, I tell you, the first thing that came to my mind was if he don't make this field goal could be the thing that haunts us.
Yeah.
You know, and everything that occurred after that field goal, had he made it, would have never happened, in my opinion. It would have never happened. None of the things, because it would have been a different play call and in a different sequence. Everything that took place wouldn't have happened that way. That's like, it wouldn't happen. But as a result of him not making that field goal, what occurred occurred. It happened the way that it was meant to be, I guess. Um, from a historical standpoint, you know, because we put up big numbers that we have not done throughout the season. Set a couple records, and the season's not over yet.
No, 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 no.
It's not over yet.
And let's not make a mistake about it. The Browns
Yeah.
are in the playoff hunt.
Yeah,
They're
not
very
over yet.
likely to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Which is awesome for Cleveland. 2002 was the last time the Browns made the playoffs. That's a whole 18 years.
yeah. That's a long
There,
time.
listen, there was a child that was born in the last time they went to the playoffs, and he is now graduating high. He or she is now graduating high school, and being considered an adult.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's man, listen, that's a long time.
That's a long time, man.
That's a
For
long
for
time.
all of our for all of our teams, I mean, it started way back, with our baseball team. I don't want to call them any names right now because
Listen, they're still the Indians. They're the Indians through 2021, and we're gonna leave it there.
and for all my Native American friends, I love y'all. Y'all know that. It's I guess it was well overdue.
There's
So it is what it is in that regard.
okay. Let's just quickly do your research. Not you, but just in general, do your research on why the Cleveland Indians were named the Cleveland Indians. Now, I loved Chief Wahoo. I understand that Chief Wahoo was not a great depiction. So I'm completely fine with that. I'm actually okay with the name change also. But let's not make it something that it's not. It wasn't
It was
wasn't
not meant to be.
named-
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it-
It was actually meant to be an honor.
right.
I mean, we might as well tell them because a lot of them are not gonna look it up and find out. We should challenge.
Oh,
them,
I would have to
pick their
actually.
brain.
So I don't remember the player's name. There was a player that played on the Indians or on the Cleveland baseball team before they were the Indians that was of Native American descent,
Mm-hmm.
and the team was actually said to be named after that player. He was a good player. So is there a better way to go about it? Sure. I mean, let's face it, the ignorance of the time, because they've been the Indians for 100 years. So 100 years ago, nobody was thinking about, 105 years, I think it is, nobody was thinking about the word Indian being offensive.
No.
At least not the good old white boys that were, owning and running the team. So, sure, there are. Listen, the times are different, and I'm okay with going ahead and changing the name because times are different. Can't be for. You can't be for ending racism unless you're for ending racism on a global level, and that means everyone.
All right.
So, with that said, I'm not going to fault them for wanting to change it. I am a little sad to see it go. It's going to take some adjusting, because it's not even like it's not just the Indians, man. It's the nickname, the tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
try.
it's I love that. So we'll see, and who knows what they're gonna name it. But back to the football game, because we kind of trailed off into a different thing.
Yeah.
The one thing that did bother me about the Browns was they didn't seem to make any adjustments at halftime.
Right.
The
They
Ravens came out at and I think I told you they need to come out and stop them because the Ravens were up 7-14, I think, at half.
Yeah.
Right? And I said they need to come out and they need to stop them. And if they don't, it's going to be really hard to come back.
Yeah. That's what you said.
And they made zero adjustments. Lamar Jackson just played backyard football on them and ran all over the place, threw the ball when he needed to. Yeah, I think he only threw the ball 17 times the whole game. Most quarterbacks throw that in like a quarter. So, I mean, but he didn't have to. He's a different breed.
Yeah.
He's a different breed. He's an X factor for real.
Yeah.
We saw that when he came out and their backup Chase McSorley came in and they ran pretty much the same offense. And it's not so much that the Browns played bad defense when you against Lamar Jackson so much as they didn't adjust for his X factor. So like,
right, yeah, not at all.
Well, and you saw that when the backup quarterback came in, and it was like when the play broke down, you saw the difference there. There was a couple plays where it just broke down, and he can't get away, he can't escape.
Yeah.
So that shows you the level of athleticism that Lamar Jackson himself possesses, which makes it that much more mind-boggling that you don't plan for that, first of all, or make the adjustments at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't. And listen, I'm not a. If I don't get paid to do it, so whatever. But I don't have the answers either. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Okay,
I don't have the answer for Lamar Jackson, but whatever they were doing didn't work. So, and how about the heroics? Now, call it what you want, but and I know you're a Browns fan, and this kills you even to probably recount this at all.
Yeah.
But on a 4th and 5, when they would have been left with a 60-plus yard field goal that they would have had to kick to take the lead, their backup quarterback gets hurt. There is no third quarterback. Lamar Jackson's still in the locker room, and he comes running out of there like the water boy, and
Yeah, he did.
gets in for the 4th and 5 play just after the 2-minute warning. Throws a 40-yard touchdown pass to a guy that had dropped 3 balls throughout the course of the game, and just goes out and wins the game. Man, he just goes out and wins the game.
Yeah, that was so funky. That was so funky. I mean, I was. Yeah.
But a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
And the Browns.
I can't.
The Browns played tough. I'll tell you this: they're going to be a tough team in the playoffs. If Baker Mayfield can continue to progress, making good decisions.
Yeah.
They're going to be a tough team, and they're going to be around for a while. Let's say what you want about Baker, but he's going to be the franchise guy. He's proven that. As long as you have a team around him that can do a bunch of other things, running the football, a good offensive line, things that the Browns really haven't had much of in the last 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown maybe some flashes and they've had some good running backs.
Right.
But their offensive line just has been garbage, for lack of a better term.
Right.
And they haven't really had that go out and get them and win them quarterback. I don't know if Baker Mayfield is that yet, but he's definitely progressing to that. So, I still don't think he's going to go out and win you a game. At least not right now.
Yeah, like our opponents did.
Yeah.
Our opponents, that quarterback came out there and won their game.
Yeah. They're and not every team has a quarterback that can go out there and win you a game, but there are quarterbacks. Russell Wilson is one that I can think of for Seattle. He can go out and win you a game. Of course, there are other quarterbacks in the division that can do that. One of which I can't stand. Plays for that team in Pittsburgh. But love him or hate him, he can go out there and win you a game. Tom Brady's another one. He can go out there and win you a game. At least early in his career. Not so much anymore. He's looking kind of old.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
and he is. He's 42 or something.
That happens to the best of us.
Drew Brees. Now listen. Okay, so we're gonna get off the Browns for a minute.
Yeah.
We'll get on to the Saints. Saints lost this week also, in a similar crushing fashion, I guess.
Yeah.
But the Saints don't lose that game if they have Drew Brees. Drew Brees is still out. Drew Brees is the guy that's gonna go out and win you a game. Taysom Hill, not that guy. Not Taysom. I don't. I'm Taysom Hill to me is he's a hybrid, and he's a spectacular, phenomenal athlete. But he's kind of like a running back that throws the ball every once in a while. You know, he's more like they're more running the Army Navy offense than they are anything else. And he throws the ball on occasion, and he does all right, but he misses a lot of throws. And he's not a guy that makes bad decisions.
All right.
He's just not a guy that has learned how to properly throw the football, I guess. I don't know, because I watched him. Listen, he's a big, strong guy. Yeah. He's got a heck of an arm.
Yeah.
But I watched him almost take his own player, like take his hands off, because he's throwing the ball from 4 or 5 yards away so hard. Like, slow it down. Like,
right.
Not everything is a fastball. So, but they lost, and Green Bay won, which means that Green Bay is now number 1 in the NFC because they beat the Saints earlier in the year. But there's time. It's going to be a tough week next week. I can't remember who they play now. Either way, it's a tough game. They play Kansas City. Who's the best team in the AFC. So, a possible Super Bowl preview in Kansas City and the Saints. I still believe the Saints are the best team in the NFC, even though they're the number 2 seed right now. Yes, that is some personal bias. Yes, However, I say that with this caveat. It has to be the Saints with Drew Brees. Now, the Saints won 9 games in a row, and before they lost this one.
Okay.
So it's not like they're bums,
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good players, a lot of former O-State guys on that team.
Yeah.
One of the best receivers in the NFL in Michael Thomas, and one of the best quarterbacks in Drew Brees when he's healthy. I just hope that now I don't think he's gonna play against Kansas City, but I also know Kansas City's run defense is terrible, so maybe it doesn't hurt us so bad. Problem with Kansas City is they're loaded with weapons. They're like most teams are like a revolver. You got 6 shots. They're like a semi-automatic weapon. They just keep throwing player after player after player at you that can move the ball and do some things. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I'm looking forward to that. You know who the Browns play this week?
No.
I don't either.
I didn't even. No.
I know.
No.
But hey,
I had to wait for it to, you know what I'm saying?
Good news.
Woosah.
The good news is the Steelers have now lost 2 games in a row. Yeah. They lost to a good Buffalo team. A really good Buffalo team, actually. Buffalo is one of those sleeper teams. Buffalo is one of those teams that might sneak up on you and make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be deep. That'd be deep.
However, I am all for anybody but Pittsburgh. So
me too.
Let's go.
Me too.
My Bengals. For those who don't know, I'm a Bengals and a Saints fan. My Bengals are not going to the playoffs at all. I don't even know if they're going to play the rest of the year. But they, except for next week, they're going to beat the Steelers next week. I'm making that prediction now.
Oh.
It's going to be some fluke, and they're gonna beat the Steelers next week.
Oh, okay.
No Joe Burrow, of course. He's out for an extended period of time. He tore himself up pretty good, so which is too bad because he's got a lot of promise. That kid, a lot of promise for the Bengals. Some college football news. It is championship weekend coming up.
Yep.
For those of us in the Buckeye State, that means we get to watch Ohio State play somebody in the Big Ten Championship. This year just happens to be Northwestern.
Yep.
A lot of controversy surrounding the Buckeyes. They're 5-0, haven't lost a game. They're number 4 in the country. A lot of people believe that they shouldn't be number 4 in the country, that they shouldn't be eligible for the college football playoffs. They shouldn't have been eligible for the Big Ten championship game. Let's be real about it, everyone. The Buckeyes, not just on paper, but on your TV screen on the Saturdays that they do play, are the superior team in the Big Ten. So let's not make this a thing where, oh, well, they bent the rules or they changed the rules so the Buckeyes. Of course they did. They changed the rules so the Buckeyes could get in. They've had to change the rules all year because we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. And then we had to put all this stuff in place for COVID. So it is what it is. But they're playing Northwestern. The Wildcats are going to be playing. They are 6-1. The one loss was to Michigan State. Michigan State is a subpar team this year. You know what? I'm gonna chew on the team up north for a minute. So I read this today. I read this in an article, and I wish I could quote it word for word. But the information in the article was, who said it? Joel Klatt. Joel Klatt said it from Fox Sports. He said Michigan canceled the game against Ohio State last Saturday.
Okay.
But Thursday and Friday, because of COVID.
Okay.
But Thursday and Friday, their workout room was open. Their video room was open. Like, and he said, the quote finish was with, they really did run and hide from the Buckeyes this year.
Yeah.
It sure seems like it. If all that, and Joel Klatt is a reputable source, so it's not like I'm just pulling it out from Daily News or whatever. But it is.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yeah, listen, and I was super excited. I'm always excited for the Ohio State Michigan game.
That's that's a team that I could definitely have faith in, no matter what. And I wish.
Meaning the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Buckeyes. That's a team that and not only is their football team rocking and socking them, but the basketball team is going hard in the paint too.
Yeah.
Ohio State Buckeyes, and now Cleveland State, y'all know y'all fam, you know what I'm saying, but Ohio State, man, it's all around talent. It's just an all around. It's a talented. The athletic department at Ohio State is just phenomenal, man. Like,
well, and
it's phenomenal, man.
It's an unfair comparison in a lot of ways.
Well, Ohio State played Cleveland State and they whooped them, and I didn't know that they were even like in there.
Yeah, listen, I don't know a whole lot about college basketball.
Yeah,
it's like this weird third dimension to me.
Yeah,
but I know that just in general, I mean, Ohio State is a huge university, and they draw top athletes.
Yeah.
Cleveland State will draw good athletes. Don't get me wrong, but they're not the same caliber.
No. Well, no. See, Cleveland State basketball team has been pretty good within the past 10 years.
Right.
They've been pretty decent.
Right. Well, listen, I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that it's two different levels.
Yeah, it seems as though it is, but I don't know. You're the sports guru. I'm not that dude, so I don't really look into. But now that sparked my curiosity. I'm wondering, like, how long have they played one another? Has this just started? It just goes to show how much I follow it. I look at the news, I see the scores, and I leave it at that.
Listen, I don't
go in depth.
I don't follow college basketball at all, so it's just not my sport, I guess.
Okay.
The way they do things, I have no clue. On a normal year, so excuse me, I especially have no clue right now.
Yeah.
What they're doing. So
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to look it up.
But
Cause
it's
yeah,
interesting. I didn't even know that they played each other. So, but
yeah,
it's
they played each other this past week and they lost. Cleveland State lost against Ohio State.
well, and that's to be expected. I mean, it
Yeah.
is. Again, it's a bigger school, bigger athletes, better athletes rather. Um, not to say that you can't be an exceptional athlete and play at Cleveland State, because if you're getting a scholarship anywhere to play a sport, you're an exceptional athlete, especially basketball. So
Yeah.
just two different things, two different leagues essentially. Divisions, whatever. It's the equivalent of Division 1 high school team going and playing a Division 2 or 3 or 4 in some cases. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of, but college basketball, man, like there's schools out there with the funniest names, and like you wouldn't even think they're colleges or universities or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just who are these? I have no idea who these people are, but um, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. I don't do the brackets. March Madness is not my thing. It's just not. Never been super super into it. Um, the NBA has started up again. Uh,
Yeah. That was fast.
yeah. Well, they decided not to push the season back. I thought initially they might because they had such a late finish, but they didn't. So they're in preseason right now.
Hmm.
No real big news there except for Giannis Antetokounmpo signed a supermax deal to stay in Milwaukee. So he's going to be a Buck for a while, good long while. So good for him. Good for him. Good for the team. Good for the city of Milwaukee. Um, just a lot of, not a whole lot of players go to Milwaukee and stay.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a lot of visitors, but they don't go and stay.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them for locking down Giannis. Um, that doesn't mean that he'll be there forever.
Right.
That just means that he's there for a good while now.
Right.
So
Right.
good for him. There are, who the Ball family is?
No.
Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball. No. Okay.
I've heard of them, but I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't followed the family.
So Lonzo Ball famously played for the Lakers. Was traded to the Pelicans to as part of the trade to acquire Anthony Davis. Because LeBron he just couldn't play with LeBron. You know, he was supposed to, I think he was like the number 1 or number 2 pick when he was drafted, and he was supposed to be all that. And he's good. He's good. Not great, not yet, but he's good. But famously, their father is a real trash talker.
Hmm.
And anyways, my point to all this is that there are now, well, there were 3 brothers that were all playing in the NBA. One of them just got released, I believe, from Minnesota or something like that.
Hmm.
But and I think it's LiAngelo. He's playing for Charlotte right now, for the Hornets,
Okay.
and he is. I mean, now, we've watched LeBron James make some ridiculous passes, no looks, and this, that, and the other. I watched this guy. He threw it behind his back, like on a fast break, and it was such a pinpoint pass. He had it like went around him and forward. You know how hard it is to throw a ball in front of you when you're going behind your back? Like, it's hard to explain. You would have to watch the clip to see
Okay.
it. But it is, he threw this pass with his left hand behind his back, and it wrapped around and went ahead right. I mean, it hit the guy in stride for a dunk or a layup or whatever.
Hmm.
So it was, but he's, I believe he's going to be the next big star. Um, like every year, you got a guy that's a rookie that comes up and does. I think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be that guy
Oh.
this year.
Okay.
So look out for him. whichever one of the Ball brothers it is. I want to say it's Lamelo I think it's Lamelo Ball. I think a
LaMelo
Lamelo Ball.
Ball.
Yeah. Watch
Okay.
out for him. He's gonna be big. So, uh, just not too long now. NBA will be back in full swing. Hopefully, we can uh, see a full intact season this year. No big breaks in between.
Hmm.
Looking forward to the Lakers trying to get back-to-back championships. Also looking forward to the Lakers and Clippers rivalry this year. I believe everybody's going to be at full strength, so it'll be exciting to see what uh, what comes to pass on that.
Yeah.
Um, there's some drama in Houston with James Harden. He is like the ex girlfriend that can't figure out if he wants in the relationship or out of the relationship. So, he's demanding things, but then when he gets them, he wants out anyways. Just a whole lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense to me. Um, Also, apparently, uh, he put on quite a bit of weight in the off season. Went from a point guard to maybe a small forward, but didn't put it on in the right way. So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens there. We'll see how the conditioning and things like that
Okay.
comes up there. So uh, I don't think there's too much else. Of course, we touched on it. Cleveland Baseball Club is dropping the Indians' nickname. They have yet to announce what the name will be. There are some ideas out there. There are some really bad ideas out there.
Yeah, I've heard some of them.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we sat in pre-show and went through some of the lists.
Yeah.
And
Some of
I'm
them.
not gonna bother going through them now.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's some of them. You guys just got to check it out, look them up, and see some of the names that are being thrown out
yeah,
there,
it's
man.
it's
No.
it's kind of it's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Some of
So
them.
being a Cleveland guy, my brother,
Hmm.
I need to know, what do you think the Cleveland Baseball Club should name themselves?
You know what? I've thought about it. I can't predict what they're gonna name them because there's so many. It's so many different ideas and I just a lot of them, like I said, I don't agree with. But
Mm.
I mean, I looked up a few things, around the neighborhoods and some of the environments that we got great metro parks, um, but I don't know, like I can't I can't I have no idea what they can name them. Like it's a lot of
Okay, so let's do it this way
I don't
then.
know.
There are two that stuck out to me. All right.
Okay.
One, of course, we spoke. I shared with you earlier is the Cleveland Rockers,
Yeah.
paying
Yeah.
homage to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You could do some cool design things as far as guitar lettering, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, I think it makes a pretty seamless and simple transition. Now
Yeah.
I know the big hang up on that what used to be the WNBA team
Yeah.
that
The
used
female, the
yeah.
girls, they had, well, the ladies, they had a team by the name, by that same name, Rockers, Rockets, and I mean, I, to be honest with you, I think that might be have already had. I know it's a registered trademark of the WNBA. So even though that organization doesn't exist anymore, I believe they would have to get um, you know, some kind of written agreement, or permission, if you will, with the WNBA before, because I mean they had licensed uh, uniforms and stuff. So
Well,
I
yeah,
don't I
and
don't I don't know if that'll go over well. I was thinking along those lines too, and like I told you, I came up the Cleveland Hall of Famers or something.
yeah,
I don't know.
and
As an
th-
alternative maybe, but
I
I
like the
don't know.
idea. Listen, as an Indians fan or a Cleveland fan of baseball, anyways, um, if you couldn't tell, I guess, but I like that name. but it's really hard to call yourself the Hall of Famers, because I mean, it's like a that's really a big name to live up to. Because yes, in Cleveland, it's in reference to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah. So I don't
but
get it.
there's also a Baseball Hall of Fame. So you go around calling yourself a Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't think it would go over well in the sports community.
I think it'll be just fine. I mean,
Locally, yeah.
Indians went over just fine for over 70 years. So
Well, we're
did
talking
nobody
about
start complaining about it for 70
okay,
years.
but now we're talking apples and
But
oranges.
now,
It's
no,
not the same.
no. I think it's relevant because um there's other teams out there like you had mentioned earlier before that they have strange names like the college teams that you said.
Yeah.
They're strange names. You know what I'm saying? Along with high schools, there's strange names. There's weird mascots. But if we're gonna do something that's relevant to the city, I think that Hall of Famers would be appropriate. Now, of course, I know that you got baseball Hall of Fame, you got football, but I mean we got rock and roll, we got football right here in the state. Like
Yeah.
I can't see it not being relevant.
No, I'm not saying it's not relevant. What I'm saying is you just can't. As a professional baseball club, professional sports club in general,
Mm.
you can't go around calling yourself the Hall of Famers. As much as I would love to, and as much as I would love the team to live up to that name, it's just, I guess, not good etiquette.
Okay, that's
Um,
interesting.
um,
That's interesting.
baseball is really big on etiquette and unwritten rules and things of that nature.
I just hope they don't become a sock because if that's the case,
No, yeah, that was one of the worst names. Blue
yeah,
Sox was one of the
Blue
worst
Sox
names.
was yeah.
Why would
We
I?
got
Why would I
White
want to
Sox.
be?
We
Come on.
got Red Sox.
Yeah.
No, no, no. If we're gonna talk about living up to a name, I don't know about whatever name it is. I don't know if living up to it will matter. Like I think, I think, I think, I think you got to live up to the destiny.
I
to
would
the
rather
job.
I would
Like,
rather go the Washington football team route and just be known as the Cleveland Baseball Club than be the Blue Sox. I really believe.
yeah, that don't hold weight. I mean,
So anyways, Rockers was one, and here's the other one, and all of my fellow Ohio State fans will either love or hate this, I guess.
uh-oh.
But the Cleveland Buckeyes.
Yeah, that ain't gonna
Um,
happen. I don't think that's gonna happen.
well,
either.
okay, but
That's a good idea, but
that's paying homage to the Negro League team,
yeah, it is.
and I think that
That's even more
aesthetically,
something bigger to live up to.
maybe it is, but
Definitely, the
I
Negro
think
League along with
I think the
Ohio State.
I think
yeah.
aesthetically that might be the smartest move. Um, you're going from something that is considered to be potentially racist to paying homage to an all-colored baseball league.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
mm-mm.
which in and of itself, maybe that's not a good idea because if you really think about it, in and of itself, that was pretty racist. Also, I mean, there was a Negro league because they couldn't play
Right,
in the majors.
right.
So I take it back. Thought it through. I take it back.
Is one thing, you know what I'm saying? That'd be cool, but
I don't know, man.
yeah, I think that's a stretch.
I don't want to be a bird. I don't want to be a sock.
Okay,
I don't want to be a fish
I
either.
thought about it was like three H's that came to mind, and one like I said was the Hall of Famers. I thought about Heritage, the Cleveland Heritage, or something like that, or maybe the Historians. The Cleveland Historians. And you got some character on the side of You know, with a book or something. I don't know, or a
I
scale.
love you. I love
But
you
I
to
don't
death,
know.
bro.
I'm just.
I love you to death, but please don't ever name a professional team. The
No, I think there.
historians.
See, the thing
Come
is,
on, man.
there is already a team, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
There may be, but I've never heard of him, and I'm a sports guy, so I don't know if we want to follow that lead either.
It's called. I think it's. Heritage, yeah.
I mean, Heritage. I don't know, man. Those just aren't like okay. So I know it might sound tacky and corny, but I want something like if I got a name.
It was a soccer team.
Oh well, that doesn't count.
It was a soccer team. Yeah.
For all my soccer fans out there, I just don't understand the game. I don't hate it. I just don't understand it.
Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I believe that it was a soccer team, so yeah, that's a no-go.
I mean,
Pro baseball heritage, yeah, no. American heritage, yeah, it was, yeah.
I just, I don't know. I hope they make the right choice.
Yeah.
I've heard, actually quite frequently, Cleveland Walleye. Don't do that to me. Don't put a fish on my hat. No. Listen, I'm about.
I see that just gave me the vision of the hat. You know the fish that the hat that you pull and the fish move like this. You know what I'm saying? Or the fish that's on the wall to get to singing when you walk by. That was one of the most
what is that?
annoying
Billy the Bass or something like that?
Yeah.
Big
See,
Bass Billy
they
or
be
something.
Crazy. They can be cracking all kind of jokes on us about that.
Yeah, don't make us walleye. Don't make us the crows. I heard the crow. I read you the article. Remember? It said the crows is an underused. It's the reason why it's underused. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, ain't nobody on.
I don't. You know.
Come on, y'all. What's y'all thinking?
I don't know what. I don't know if we should go the animal route or if we should go.
If you're gonna name it any kind of bird in Cleveland, it's gonna be a pigeon. They're everywhere. And that's not good either.
Please don't do that to me either.
At all. Nobody thought about that.
But
it's relevant.
Yeah, I guess that's an underused.
Pigeons everywhere, and they don't run.
No.
Pigeons look at you like
seagulls.
What?
Yeah.
No, I
don't make me a bird.
I don't know. See, them Cleveland pigeons. I don't know. Them ones downtown for real. I don't know.
Listen, the seagulls on the lake ain't no joke either.
Yeah.
They'll come right up and just take the sandwich out your hand.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
So,
they don't care.
With that said, let's stay away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So good luck with that.
Yeah. I just hope they do it justice.
The Cleveland Tribe, I'd go for that.
Yeah, and you know, I thought about that, but is that borderline? Is that because we're staying away from that now, right?
No, tribe. I mean, it take a village, so why not a tribe?
Well, I mean,
just saying.
It could be the Cleveland Villagers.
Nah, because then that's some old village people. Nah, they already playing at the stadium.
I know.
Yeah, we ain't in the Macho Man. We don't want to hear that.
So, that's gonna wrap up sports. I probably went too long into that than I wanted to, but
oh yeah, I hope y'all still with us, y'all.
You're still here.
Some of our
non-sports fans.
Yeah, non-sports fans. If you're just tuning in with us, the show starts now.
I'll make sure to mark it at an hour and 5 minutes. You can skip to 105 and you'll pass the sports thing. So, all right, man. Look, big news. The big news.
Dum, dum, dum.
Vaccinations.
Yes.
For COVID-19.
Now we getting into the good in the hood, y'all.
Yeah.
Now we about to
talk
about dessert.
We're gonna give you a little bit of info. Along with a heavy dose of opinions and possibly some conspiracy theories. Ooh. Yes. Which is not my circus. That's yours.
Yeah. That's definitely my monkey there.
uh,
Yep.
so it's like it's a frightening proposition, right?
Yeah.
I like to call it pick your poison. Do you take the vaccine and chance the side effects known and unknown, or do you not take the vaccine and chance contracting or carrying COVID? Uh, Here's the thing. My opinion. First of all, not an opinion. This is a fact. Do your research. Do your research on it before you make a decision. Um, if it's make sure it's right for you, for your family, whatever. Um, and know the risks that are involved because, as we spoke pre-show, Al, they have done clinical trials, but how much can you really know in a couple months?
Right.
Right. Usually takes years and years and years.
At least 5 years.
And as far as I know, COVID-19's only been around for about 12 months now. Kind of officially, unofficially.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and we didn't start developing anything for it until way late in the game. So,
Yeah, like 6 months ago, so it seemed.
yeah. At least that's what they want us to
6
believe.
or 8 months ago, max.
So, there's a couple things. One, you need to understand how the vaccine works if you're going to take it. Even if you're not going to take it, whatever. It's important to understand how it works, how vaccines in general work. So it's a lot like the flu vaccine, right?
Right.
There's actually, I think, 3 different kinds of this COVID vaccine now. And a lot like the flu, they are all they're all injections of a form or a whatever, a gene, or I guess a material. The CDC calls it a material that causes COVID-19, the virus that causes COVID-19 rather.
Okay.
The idea is to build up immunities, right?
Right.
They're called, let's see, according to my research here, it's T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes.
Okay.
Those are what help you remember how to fight off viruses.
Okay.
That's like a part of your body. Now, I'm not a doctor or a scientist or whatever, so I can't sit here and pretend like I know exactly what that means. But from what I read, that's what's in your body that helps. That's why, like, there's certain things that you very rarely see people get twice or more than twice, right?
Right.
Like chickenpox,
Right.
right? Your body remembers how to fight that off
Right.
because, well, you've been through it. So, it's there's an mRNA vaccine that contains material from the virus that causes COVID-19. And this is you can find this information. I should cite on cdc.gov/coronavirus/2019 vaccines. Whatever. If you go to the CDC website, if you just go to cdc.gov, it gives you the information on these vaccines. So it contains the mRNA vaccine contains material from the virus that causes COVID-19 that gives our cells instructions for how to make harmless protein that is unique to the virus. After our cells make copies of the protein, they destroy the genetic material from the vaccine. Our bodies recognize that protein should not be there and build T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight the virus that causes COVID-19 if we are infected in the future. So, it's basically like training your immune system.
Yeah.
Right.
fooling it into thinking that it's stronger than what it really is.
Yeah.
So it seems.
Well, so it seems. And here I should be clear. I'm not. First of all, I'm not necessarily for the vaccine, but I'm not against it because I think that it's somehow bad for you. Um, I'm against it because there's not enough information.
Yeah.
I'm
At
against
all.
it. I'm also against it because spiritually and biblically speaking, it's a lot of ifs and a lot of stuff that I haven't. There's something about it that doesn't set right with me, and I'm very much a go to God and follow your gut type of
Right.
guy, and I haven't really gotten a true definite answer
Right.
from God on it. So as it stands right now, I'm going to hold off on it, and you know, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking anybody that wants to go and get it. You know, do what you think is right for you. Just make sure you're doing your research first,
Yeah.
so you're not going into it blindly.
Yeah.
I guess. The second type is a protein subunit vaccine. Includes harmless pieces of proteins of the virus that causes COVID-19 instead of the entire germ. Once vaccinated, your immune system recognizes that the proteins don't belong in the body and begins making, again, T lymphocytes and antibodies. If we are ever infected again in the future, memory cells will recognize and fight the virus. Here's the problem with all this.
Mm-hmm.
It has shown to evolve already. The virus, I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all this is good now,
Yeah. I've
but
heard.
there's no guarantee that it's going to continue to be the answer, nor does it guarantee that the virus won't mutate. Quite often they do. There's a reason why you have to take a flu shot every year, or you're supposed to, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, because the viruses, they mutate. So again, it's hard for me to sign off on, and nobody's looking for me to sign off on it. Like, I don't have any kind of power, but just for myself, it's hard for me to look at this and go, this, okay, yeah, I'll take a, oh, you put this out in 2 months? Sure. Put it, put it in my bloodstream. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
good.
experiment and see
I'm
what
good.
happens.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Good
I
on
ain't
that.
hard.
I will say that while it's well intended, I am a little weary of our healthcare professionals getting this first,
Yeah.
because if something goes horribly wrong,
They're the only ones that can help us.
what are we left with?
Nothing.
Right. You better find yourself a book on what plants are good, because gonna need it, right?
Thank you, ATI.
And okay, and then the third form is vector vaccines. Contain a weakened version of the live virus. No, thank you. A weakened version of a live virus, a different virus than the one that causes COVID-19, that has genetic material from the virus that causes COVID-19 inserted in it. Hold on. You're telling me that you're making a super virus to fight the virus? And that's what you want to put in me? That's what you want me to take?
It's all suspect to me, bruh.
I know. And believe me, I'm going to give you your turn to give me your side of it. I just want to give the information on the CDC website before we
Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah. Let everybody. Yeah. That way. Yeah.
Weakened version of a live virus, a different virus than the one that causes COVID-19, that has a genetic material from the virus that causes COVID-19 inserted in it. This is called a viral vector. Once the viral vector is inside your cells, the genetic material gives cells instructions to make a protein that is unique to the virus that causes COVID-19. Using these instructions, our cells make copies of the protein. This prompts our bodies to build T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes that will remember how to fight the virus if we are infected in the future. So the vector vaccine and the mRNA vaccine are pretty similar, um, with the exception that they're combining two viruses with vector vaccines. I don't understand how that works. That's
Who
not for me
knows?
to say. So far, according to, well, this is according to WSJ.com, the known common side effects for the COVID vaccines are pain, redness or swelling in the injection site, fatigue, headache, chills, muscle pain, and joint pain, according to the FDA analysis released today, or I'm sorry, last Tuesday.
Okay.
So the symptoms, or the side effects rather, seem rather mild. But again, we don't know what
Right.
the long-term effects are, right?
Right. Not at all.
Um, so we've talked about this a little bit privately, and we are we are on the same side for two very different reasons. Uh, so with the information that has been given by the CDC, and again, listen, the CDC is a government-run agency, so can we really trust them? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it kind of funny. Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's your job on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do find it kind of funny that all of a sudden we have this virus
Yeah.
and it's killing people off. And now all of a sudden we have, after so many people have already died, we had this big rush to get a vaccine. And now we have the vaccine that is tested but not well tested.
Right.
It sounds a lot like a plot to a movie to me. You know, we're gonna give you a vaccine. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's not. Could be a placebo. Could be
Could
injecting
be.
sugar water. We don't know.
Could be.
You know, the common average Joe. We don't know anything about it.
It definitely could be.
We don't know anything about it. But it seems fishy. It does. I will grant you that. I'm not gonna go full tilt conspiracy theory, but I will say that it does seem little off, a little odd. Um, and at the end of the day, who knows? I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? Um, I would just encourage people to again do your research and get right with your God, what in whatever form or fashion that is,
True story.
because we don't know what it's gonna do or how it's gonna happen. So, Mr. Black Legend himself, please, please, please inform me on your opinion on this.
Man, look. All I'm gonna say is, well, I can't say
That's a lie. That's
that.
You already started off with a lie.
No, no, no. But seriously though, it's definitely something fishy going on with it, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Again, guys, this is solely our opinion. Um, you guys can give us feedback as to what you guys think. But my personal opinion is, um, it was placed here. It was a way to try and depopulate, in my opinion. Um, we're just screwing stuff up, man. We're very irresponsible, and I'm talking about human beings. We're human beings, and at the root of that, we're greedy, we're selfish. All of these characteristics we have, and nobody's perfect. This is just our nature.
Mm.
So with that being said, sometimes um, we do things based on that alone, um, that mindset or emotion. And but look, we're cloning animals to continue to feed the country and around the world. Um, we're cloning our vegetables. Um, I don't know nothing about that, but I didn't have to go to the Ohio State University, ATI, to find out or realize that there's something wrong with this watermelon that ain't got no seeds in it. God ain't make a watermelon without no seeds in it. God ain't make grapes. I don't know if y'all know this, but God ain't make no grapes without seeds in it. Just so y'all know, okay? I was genetically modified to be that way so that they can't reproduce. That way you can't get them yourself and grow them year after year after year after year after year. See? But that's my opinion. Now, from a scientific perspective, I'm not a scientist. Associates in applied science, maybe, but that's just to let you know that there are seeds in real grapes. I can tell you that. $30,000 later, there are seeds in real grapes, guys. Okay? There are seeds in honeydew melons and watermelons and cantaloupe. There are seeds. And pumpkins. There are seeds. The one show we had talked about around, I think it was our holiday, or was it, Halloween. It was around Halloween, and we were talking about pumpkins or something like that. And
I don't think that was on air, but yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about pumpkins and the fact that this particular farmer said that his biggest expense is pumpkin seeds. Now, what we found fault with that was, if you have a pumpkin,
one pumpkin, right?
You have so many seeds in that one pumpkin that it would be like hard to like plant them all.
I think what we read is that it would be virtually impossible to plant and harvest all
of the seeds in the one pumpkin. Yeah. So, and that's probably because we saw what a pumpkin patch looked like.
Mm-hmm.
We actually looked at one plant, made like 2 or 3 big pumpkins, and the vegetation grew like you would not believe, but that one plant produced those 2 fruits. Now,
right. We did that for you guys. We did it for the show. We grew a pumpkin patch just for the show.
In the front yard.
In the front yard, yeah. In the hood.
In the hood, in the front yard. Okay. Now, the farmers said that they, that was their biggest expense, was pumpkin seeds. Now, me and my bro over here trying to figure out how could that be.
We probably spent too much time on that.
How could that possibly be? Now, my point is this: if they're still spending money on seeds, what's wrong with the seeds that's in the pumpkins?
That's a good question.
We was looking at it from a different perspective, like maybe that's stupid, but maybe, just maybe, the seeds that are there are sterile. They can't be fertilized. They can't be used.
That's I never thought of it as that as a possibility.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to.
But again, I'm not the conspiracy theorist. But here's what we can do.
Yeah.
We can take a pumpkin, store-bought, grown, whatever. Mm-hmm. In fact, we still have the pumpkins that we grew.
Yeah.
Whatever the dogs didn't destroy.
Yeah.
We may be able to find some seeds.
Yeah.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll plant them.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
We'll plant them.
Because it came from a store-bought plant.
Store-bought plant.
So in theory, maybe it needs to. You know what? Maybe we need to actually get a store-bought pumpkin. I don't know if we can still find them now.
Why?
Well, because. No, listen. If we compare the two.
Oh.
We grow them in 2 different plots, right?
Okay.
We grow the. It's different because you can buy store-bought plants, plant them, and then replant from those every year, if you have a knowledge of how to do so.
Right.
So I believe that we would find that we can grow those pumpkin seeds from a plant that was a store-bought plant. Now, it's almost like you need three different three different plots for this, right? You need to buy pumpkin seeds like a farmer would.
Yeah.
Take the seeds out of a store-bought pumpkin,
All right.
and then take the seeds out of the pumpkins that were grown
The year before.
the year before from a store-bought plant, right?
Yep.
So you get the, one grows, one doesn't, whatever.
So I'm gonna write this down and see if we can.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Great. Just so everyone knows, I'm not a gardener. In fact, I don't like to do any of this. So I just signed myself. Actually, you know what? No, I signed you up, Mr. ATI, to use your $30,000 education to grow some pumpkins.
Yeah, just to grow a pumpkin. But it's all in the name of science.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'll report my findings.
Next year at harvest time,
I'll report my findings.
we'll have an answer maybe for you. But
Amazing.
but it is curious. It is curious to think about what kind of genetic mutations they're doing.
Yeah, I remember
to plants, animals, to vaccines, to like
tangerines, nectarines. They had seeds. Now it's hard to find a seed in a tangerine or a nectarine.
hard to find a seed in
Hard to find a
tangerine.
seed.
or
Yes,
nectarine.
Taz. Yes, Taz.
I'm telling you right now, there ain't no seeds in them nectarines.
Not now. And and so we're cloning stuff. We're cloning meats. We're cloning veggies. We're cloning fruit. And it's because we're running out of it. And I'm gonna tell you, we're running out of fresh water too. Now we have the technology to reproduce water. We got the technology to reproduce water without question. We could reproduce water based on just humidity alone inside of a house. The condensation that builds up in the air can be filtrated and placed into a machine that'll produce water. I know it sounds crazy, but
No, it sounds scientifically accurate.
it's really
Anybody that went through even high school or middle school science, I think would find that logical.
Yeah.
You did the whole condensation, evaporation, and
Yeah.
precipitation thing.
Right.
So
And
it
they
makes
extract
sense.
that, and they make the water go through a purification system, and it's not only hit with heat, but it's hit with UAV. UV rays. I'm sorry, UAV. UV rays.
Too much Call of Duty.
Yeah. And it's drinkable, sustainable water. So if it's no need to, because the only major body of water that's clean and fresh that I know of that's close is right at Lake Erie.
Clean and fresh, huh?
Well,
I know what you mean, though.
but that doesn't have salt in it.
Right.
We'll say that.
It's fresh water. Right.
Yeah, it's lake water doesn't have salt in it. So, as long as it's cleaned, it can be drank. It can be consumed. We'll say that. All right, drink, whatever.
I don't know if there's even a way to do that. I should probably look it up even. But
to do what?
To filter salt water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's a purification process to filtrate salt water, but you need the tools. You need the equipment to do so. But yes, it can be done.
Well, yeah, but we're talking.
But on the fly, like.
No. I'm talking about on a global, water shortage type situation where it's something where the resources and the technology is available to do so. It just has to be put into place.
Right.
But you're not wrong. Listen, we as in humans have done a really good job of messing up a beautiful thing from the very beginning. So
yeah,
when you say that we came to the same conclusion 2 different ways. You said the virus is created by man. I said you're right in the sense that we did so much messing up the world
Yeah.
that we've created all this stuff that is, bad for us or whatever. None of this stuff was put here to harm us. We whether consciously or subconsciously, I don't here's what it is. I don't believe that it's men in white coats men and women in white coats making this stuff. I just believe that it's something that's happened over time.
Okay.
That we've screwed things up so bad that these viruses are essentially creating themselves, but they're doing so because of what humankind did. So, with all that said, if you feel that getting a COVID vaccine is safe, if you feel like it's what's right for you and your family, by all means, do your research and do so, I guess. Again, I've said it 152 times. I'll probably say it 152 more. Do your research. Make sure you know what you are doing. Talk to your doctors. Do some independent research. Google is a wonderful tool. I'll tell you how I did my research. I just Googled COVID-19 vaccinations. Took me to the CDC website. The CDC website gives me this information that I read off to you guys and gals, I should say. And same thing with the possible symptom, or not symptoms, but what's the word? Side effects.
Right.
That come with it. So, listen. Also recognize this: just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean that you can't get the virus.
Right.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. So
yeah, it's right here on the CDC website. It's in plain black and white. You can still contract the virus if you are exposed to it before the virus has a chance to take effect the way that it's supposed to, or whatever. You can indeed contract the virus. What we don't know a whole lot of, and what I know nothing of, and I can't seem to find anything on it, is if you take the vaccine and you contract the virus, will it make it worse? Or will it make it better? So we don't know. We just simply don't know. To me, it's too many questions, too early in the game to be thinking about that. Maybe it's just because I'm, in my 30s and I'm in relatively good health, and I don't necessarily believe that I have a whole lot to worry about. In fact, not to sound like I'm some sort of Superman or anything like that, but I really just don't get sick a whole lot in general. I have a strong immune system. I don't have any underlying health issues. Right. Just things that I don't have to concern myself with.
Right.
You, on the other hand, you do. So for you to say it's not for me, I'm not taking the vaccine, maybe holds a little more weight for people, just because you're not in your 30s and in good health, and have an underlying. I mean, you're in your late 40s and came off a bout with you've had bronchitis, or not? Is it bronchitis? Pneumonia. I'm sorry, pneumonia.
Yeah, I had pneumonia once that almost killed me. I had bronchitis once, and I had an upper respiratory infection once.
Yeah. So
other than that,
you have you also have 30 plus years of smoking under your belt.
Yeah.
So,
I smoke cigarettes, and it's terrible.
Yeah. And so, I mean, those are...
And that's why periodically, you guys hear me cough, because I got that smoker's cough. And yeah, I'm going to have to do something about it. I don't know if a patch or some gum is going to work for me, because I tried it and I didn't like the gum. The gum was nasty. The patch, just, it didn't.
Yeah, listen, it's hard to...
Yeah. It's gonna have to be.
People always say, "Why don't you just quit?" Well, because it's more than just smoking a cigarette. There's a whole lot that goes into it. But That's a different conversation for a different time.
Yep.
So just do your research. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Don't just go blindly into it because what's his name, Fauci or whoever, the director or the main doctor in all this is, and or the CDC or your local government, whoever. Listen, don't just rush to get a vaccine because it's available. We don't know exactly what it's going to do. Now, a lot of people see it as a good sign, and I don't want to take that away from anybody. If that is what you believe that it's a good sign, you believe it's something that is going to be helpful, then by all means go out and do as you wish with that. Again, do it with an informed mind.
Right.
Don't just rush blindly into this stuff because you just don't know.
Yeah.
What you can what can happen. So, I've been doing a lot of praying, a lot of thinking about it. It's just not something that I'm willing to get into. It's just not something I'm willing to do for myself, or my kids, for that matter. It's hard for me to. I'm also a guy that doesn't go and get a flu shot. I'm not necessarily an anti-vaxxer. I'm just whatever. I've had the flu. Get sick for a little bit, get over it, move on with life. Again, that's me. I'm not everyone. I don't have the same health conditions that everyone does. And there's a lot of things that other people have to think about that I don't. I understand that fully.
Right.
I understand that fully. So do your research. What's best for you? What's best for your family? For your loved ones, make sure that you are informed when you go into this stuff.
Without question, guys, definitely. It's a big decision. So
the other big news, I guess, of the day, the Electoral College has officially voted in President-elect Joe Biden.
Yep.
And Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So, bye-bye 45, moving on to 46.
Yep.
We'll see what that brings.
Yep.
I am okay, I'm anti-Trump. Let's put it that way. But, listen, being the President of the United States is a hard job.
Yeah, for him to have no experience in that type of arena at all, I think his staff did halfway decent in preventing him from making a bigger fool of himself at the
They
time.
didn't let him push the red button.
Yeah,
I guess
he
that's
did
what's
not
important, right?
press the button. So,
It's listen, it's a tough job for anyone, and everybody, anybody who goes into that office falls under scrutiny one way or another.
Yeah.
People ask, well, what's so bad about Trump? Well, okay, my biggest thing is this: if you're going to be the president of the United States, arguably the most powerful man in the world, you need to act as so. Okay? Arguing, bickering, being childish. There's no place in the Oval Office for that kind of stuff. Not publicly. Not publicly. Not privately either, but not publicly for sure.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say this. I'm glad he did it publicly as opposed to privately, because we had an opportunity to get a reaction. We had an opportunity to voice our opinion about his opinion or his decision making. Imagine what would have happened if he would have did what you're saying right now. If he'd have just kept all of that bottled up inside of the Oval Office, it'd probably be a button push right now.
Okay, but that's not.
Some of the things that he was
not what
saying
I'm
and
saying,
doing,
though.
some of the stuff, like, check it out. Him calling people names and stuff like that. Now you really realize the content of his character.
Right.
See, had he did that in private, we would have never known what kind of really. Let's see, I want to call him a name.
It would have leaked. It would have leaked. Listen, when you are the president of the United States, there is no privacy. Okay.
Yeah, but
So But my point is this.
You can always say that wasn't true. That was just made up. That was just a lie.
He
Just
does that anyways, even
yeah,
though he
right.
says things on
So
Twitter and whatever. He
right,
turns around and contradicts himself
right.
constantly.
And
My
people are
biggest
still
issue.
following the guy because of it.
Yeah, listen, Republicans, hardcore Republicans are gonna follow whoever is there. Um, the thing that maybe I disliked about Trump is what a lot of the Trumpers follow is the fact that you don't, if you don't know when to shut your mouth and do your job, in a sense, then listen, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. If there was, we wouldn't have this show. There's nothing wrong with
Freedom of speech.
right. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself.
Let's talk about it.
I feel as if when you are, again, arguably the most powerful man or person in the world, there is no room for childish behavior. And a lot of the things that Donald Trump exhibits is childish behavior. Okay? I also, everybody deserves a second chance. All right? So this isn't well, Trump did all this before he ever got in office and he should have never been president. Maybe he shouldn't have, but he was. Well, currently is, I guess. And
no, I guess somebody else is taking over. I didn't mean to cut you off, but now that you say that, it was alleged on CNN or MSNBC that some other guy is taking over for Trump for the last 3 weeks. Ain't it like 3 weeks or something that he got left before?
It's a little over a month. January 20th is the official inauguration.
Okay, so yeah, that's what was hitting the newsways, man, and I thought that was important to say because he's not even gonna be there to make any decisions now.
Well, he's been pretty much
decisionless making for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody else did all of the thinking for him. And I guess for him to have allowed them to do that, yeah, that's a good thing. But yeah, because but he tried. He did his best.
Right.
All of us aren't dead. Some of us are, but all of us aren't dead. Thank God for that. So
I can't find any information on him leaving the office.
Okay, let me check.
Before, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but
yeah, no.
I because we are an opinion-based show, we try to stay kind of fact-based opinions.
Yeah, let me see.
So we don't want to mislead anybody, in any way, shape, or form. But either way, he's been pretty much just not making a whole lot of since the election. His entire energy has been focused on fighting the election results.
Yeah.
And not running the country. So I guess that's just another thing to put up there. But listen, you're right. You come in, you do the best you can. Voted out of office. There's no telling whether Joe Biden will be any better or worse. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. It's always. I just wish that, now that it's all said and done, my wish is that he would just have a smoothless, seamless transition into the White House. He being Joe Biden, and that Donald Trump would, lay down his guns and come out with his hands up, so to speak,
right,
and not hold the office hostage, which seems to be the route that many people think he's going to take. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
The good news is, if that does happen, we have more to talk about. So,
boy, don't we?
The bad news is, if that happens, well, we may all be in some big trouble. So
big trouble.
So there's that. So congratulations once again to President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris for their victory. I will say, love him or hate him, thank you to Donald Trump for being doing the best that he could as the 45th president of the United States. And I hope that if he decides to go for a second go around in 2024, that maybe some things have changed. But you know what they say about old dogs and new tricks. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. Got about 15 minutes left in the show, give or take. The vaccine topic is a big topic. It's a big thing. We're probably going to touch on it a few more times throughout the course of all this as we find out some more information.
Right.
Some local, or some, I guess not local, but some music news. Any artists you would wish to highlight? Anything new that you've listened to that maybe our listeners would be interested in?
Yeah, but I don't have all of the information for them at this point in time because I didn't know. I didn't know you were
Just
going
well,
to with
no,
that
I'm just looking
question.
for a name. I know, right? This is one of those curveballs.
So yeah, but I don't want to. If I'm gonna talk about somebody, I want to know their name and how to properly say it. You know what I'm saying? And not get it confused with somebody else. And
Fair enough.
the titles of the songs that they actually sing that appeal to me. Because I listen to just about all genres of music, so it's
Polka?
not. Yeah, Big Chuck and Little John had to listen to polka. Fox 8, man, true story, man. They play polka on the show, and if you like the show, you had to live with the polka.
Well, yeah,
Polka,
but that's
so.
not really listening to polka. That's watching a show that has polka in it.
But they played polka.
So
You had to watch the show.
that's true.
They really played polka though.
We just taking a glance over at my guitar, it's like it was calling to me for some reason. Not like that. Get out of here with that madness. So I love the music scene here in Akron. You find it just about everywhere. I recently discovered that a friend of mine, mechanic, that I've helped out from time to time, Tim,
Yeah.
is a phenomenal guitar player.
Okay.
It is funny to me because just he's kind of quiet and reserved, and he just kind of grumbles through things a lot. But man, he picks up a guitar and it's a completely different person. When the first time we worked together, he asked me. I said something about playing a guitar or something, or singing, and he asked me if I played any instruments. Yeah, I play the guitar, but not. I'm not like an expert guitarist or anything like that. I'm very much just I listen. I put chords together and I can write songs. I'm not a lead guitarist, so every time a song comes on the radio or would come on the radio, he would go, "You know how to play this?" I'm like, nope. Oh yeah, I can play this. And I thought he was just messing with me. And then he started playing, and I was like you could really play this stuff,
That's
So
good.
yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm trying to get him out of his shell a little bit so I can get him in studio and record a few lead guitar licks for me, so that I can use them in some future tracks. But
All right.
I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious.
That's gonna be interesting.
I'm serious.
Hey, you yeah, cause I did have a couple people that next time I'm gonna keep that in mind and make sure I highlight some musicians, man. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
That's a great
I know I
idea.
just kind of hit you with it on the fly,
Yeah,
and that's
a
my
great
fault.
idea.
That's my
Music
fault.
is
But I
one
want
of my
to,
passions. So.
yeah, and listen, it's mine too. Well,
Yeah.
one of mine also.
Yeah.
Sports and music. Probably the sports music and my family are probably like the big. Well, okay, never mind. The more I think about it, the more I can list them off. But sports and music are big passions of mine.
All right.
And of course, uh, my spirituality. I'm not gonna call it religion. Um, Religion wages wars, in my opinion.
Right. True story.
But I do I do love the music scene here in Akron. There are some of the artists that I've been listening to, the more popular ones, I guess. I've been listening to a little bit more Chris Stapleton, of course. Uh, I like also a big selection of music. Um, Chris Stapleton's one I've been listening to. Uh, Stone Sour is another band that I've been listening to a little bit more. Not they're more of a rock band. Not a huge. I like that stuff while I'm working sometimes, and while I'm, you know, I guess maybe working out or something like that, where I'm active. It's not just something like I'm sitting around listening to all the time. But it is fun. It's fun to listen to. I do like metal, rock, stuff like that. Uh, I don't know off the top of my head of any new stuff that is coming out as of right now. Again, Chris Stapleton has an album that is it's fairly new. It's like post COVID new,
Right.
or whatever. Some really good tracks on that. The album cover, the the album cover is blank essentially, and it's just his handwriting, and it's the name of the album, and the let's see if I can pull a picture of it. It's funny. The name of the album and his name, I believe. Uh, and it's handwritten in his handwriting, and that's what became the album cover. Can I find it? No, probably not. I think it's called Starting Over, I believe, is the name of the album. He's just a real interesting dude to me, watching some interviews and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I like to listen to his music. It's a little more bluesy than traditional country music is, which there's not a whole lot of traditional country music out there anymore. Um, it's more poppy and stuff like that. But so yeah, check it out. Check out the new Chris Stapleton album. If that is the kind of stuff you're into, let me know what you think of it. Also, if you want to highlight some artists, leave us a comment on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, uh, on YouTube, wherever you catch the episodes. While you're there, like, subscribe, hit the little bell notifications button so you'll know when we're coming on again. We're gonna be back to doing weekly shows. Um, we're probably gonna miss a week for Christmas. After that, we'll be back around again. But so glad to be back, and being able to put something out in the airwaves. Kind of get a little stress relief out of it, man.
Yeah.
Funny story. Okay, so we've had 3 guests on the show so far. Okay, we had Lights, we had Vince Peterson II, and Sean. Right. Out of those 3, Vince and his wife bought a brand new 2020 Blazer, I think, or something. And then Alan, right after he was on the show, went ahead and bought himself a Camaro.
Hey.
So, I'm not saying that if you come on the show you'll find a way to get a new vehicle. Uh, but I'm saying if you come on the show, there's a chance that you may find a way to get yourself a new vehicle, and make a little come up. What are you researching over there?
I am researching quite a bit of stuff, but right now, my main focus is on our elderly people, man. And we had talked about it before, but I'm kind of glad you asked because yeah, I've been looking at this and how COVID is affecting our elderly people. It's not just killing them, but it's I mean it's taking away the resources that they had before. There was so very few, like Meals on Wheels and stuff like that. Like home health aid nurses that would come in and check on those that are staying at home or in an apartment on their own, excuse me, as opposed to being in a nursing home or some kind of living
Assisted
space.
living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assisted living. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is something that I've been, and I want the audience to excuse me, but it's something that I've been looking at on and off throughout the entire show, because I want to give myself plenty of time to address this. I also want to be able to give you guys 1-800 numbers or some kind of number or national number that you can call for assistance in your area, or a lifeline, if you will, to a link or to a organization in your area, wherever you may be in the country,
Yeah.
that will allow you to utilize the resources in that area to help you sustain throughout the holidays.
Right. And I,
So
I know our research and development team is looking up those things to post on our pages, on our various sites. Something that you can just go to, find a number, whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, definitely, it's definitely important. It's definitely important. Unfortunately, we don't have time to really get into it.
yeah, we can't get into it right
But
now, but we're preparing.
just make sure you're checking on, grandma, grandpa,
Yeah,
aunts,
check
uncles,
on them, y'all.
things
Check
like
on
that.
'em. Wear
Make
a
sure,
mask now.
yeah, yeah.
Don't
Be
go in there
safe.
not masked up.
Be safe.
But check on your people. Check on the old folks. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be no you without.
Speaking of masks, quickly, we are still level 4 or in the purple or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
In Summit County, it is mandatory that you wear a mask when you go into a store. Don't be the fool that doesn't. Also, don't be the guy or gal that's going to argue with the clerk that tells you can't come in without a mask because, well, it's clearly posted everywhere. Also, it's an ordinance right now,
Yeah,
so
they just
they
doing
can
their
get in
job.
trouble.
Yeah, they can get in trouble.
So, make sure that you are respecting them. Also, I know that it's a bad time right now for bar owners, restaurant owners, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Keep them in mind when you're going out to eat. Listen, patronize the places when you can.
Yeah.
Um,
And
make them a little bit of money. Like they got to
Yeah.
close early. There is a 10 o'clock curfew, I believe, that's still in place, 10 to 5 right now in
Yeah.
Northeast Ohio, or in Ohio, period, I think. So make sure you're keeping that in mind. Be safe, people. Wear your mask, wash your hands, brush your teeth, whatever.
stay cootie free.
Make sure that brushing your teeth, as far as I know, has nothing to do with COVID. That's just for your own personal. I'm wearing a mask and I got to smell my own funky breath. So make sure you're brushing your teeth.
He fried,
So-
y'all. He fried.
No, but seriously, wear your mask, wash your hands. Make sure you're adhering to the CDC guidelines, whether you agree with them or not. Reality is we're all here. We have to live with it. All right. That is the show for today. Thank you once again for tuning in. Al, lovely conversation, bro. I wouldn't do it
Hey.
without you. Couldn't do it without you.
That's what's up.
And listen, man, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, check on your loved ones. Call them up. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know you love them. See if there's anything you can do for them. Make sure that we are contacting the elderly, as well as looking after our youth and trying to keep them on the right path right now, and making sure that everybody is taken care of. Once again, I'm Justin. That's Al. This has been The Good in the Hood. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Deuces.